All over the world, hearts are hearting. Some places have it worse than others. What can we do to connect our hearts? It starts with how we can use heart to make healthy choices. But what if those choices are not accessible? To connect with our own hearts, to monitor our hearts, to understand our risk. To connect to every heart. We want everyone to have access to the same tools, the same opportunities, to connect people with cardiovascular disease, to create community. Will you use heart to connect?
We are here to actually provide all the support to develop students to become a confident graduate that is needed by the industry. Please feel welcome to visit us to see how we do our transformation of students.
Hello everyone, and welcome to an interesting and a very beneficial live talk about heart awareness brought to you by SEGi College Penang. My name is Tanusha Devi Ravindran.
Hi, my name is Billy, and I hope you all stay safe and stay cool in this COVID-19 period. And we will be your moderators for tonight. Tonight, we are going to have a live talk about cardiovascular disease. We are extremely privileged to have our doctor, Lai Yee Cheak, an experienced cardiologist to join our live talk with us tonight.
Before we go any further, let's first do a quick tech check. If you can hear and see us clearly, do type yes in the comment sections.
That's right. If you are able to hear us and see us clearly, please type yes in the comment sections.
We can see people starting to reply yes, that's really nice. Koku, Edward Lowe. Thank you. Thank you all for your responses and feel free to continue interacting with us throughout the talk. If you agree with anything or you'd like to ask some questions, do leave them in the comment section. Perhaps it will be really great for you guys to share with us your opinions.
Let's do a quick rundown of today's talks. It will be divided into two parts. The first sections we will discuss what is cardiovascular disease and what is the risk factor of it.
After this, we will be taking a quick break. After the break, our respective guest speaker tonight will share about how to avoid cardiovascular diseases and how to enhance our healthiness. Then we will dive straight into the Q&A session as well as the lucky draw session. The lucky draw winners will be picked from the names that have registered for today's session. So do register through the registration link that have been provided in the comment section.
Without further ado, let us invite our guest speaker for tonight, an experienced cardiologist, Dr. Lai Yee Cheak. So let us
Welcome,
welcome
Doctor.
Dr. Lai.
Welcome,
Welcome,
Doctor.
Doctor.
Thank
So,
you very
are you-
much. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
Doctor.
Doctor.
So,
It's
are you
my
all ready?
pleasure to be invited. Thank you.
Yes, you're
Thank you so
welcome.
much, Doctor. So, are you all ready? If you are, type ready in the comment section. First of all, Doctor, we would like to thank you on behalf of our team and SEGi College Penang for accepting our invitation and give us your valuable time today. If everyone is ready, let's get our respective doctor today to tell us a little bit about himself. Dr. Lai, can you share with us about yourself, who you are, and what's your experience as a cardiologist?
Okay. I'm born in 1971, which is now 50 years old. I started my career as a doctor in 1996. That time I was based in Penang, GH, as a house officer. In 1990, yeah, in 2006, I came out as a private cardiologist. So now it's about 15 years. I'm now based in Kedah. That's all.
It's really so grateful to have you here, Doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lai, for your wonderful introductions. Let us start our first questions. So, Dr. Lai, can you share with us what is cardiovascular disease and how serious effect might will caused by the CVD?
Okay, by definition, cardiovascular disease is the disease of the heart and blood vessels. The main part of the cardiovascular disease will be the heart attack or the ischemic heart disease. Although there's other cardiovascular disease which might involve other parts of the body, one of them will be stroke, which is a major cause of cardiovascular disease, a major cause of death and illness in the world also. And other parts will be renal vascular disease, which might cause kidney damage, and etc. etc. But I think for today, we'll concentrate on the heart disease. That means the disease involving the blood vessels to the heart.
Thank you.
Cardiovascular disease, okay, cardiovascular disease each year contributed the most death in the world. And even in Malaysia, before the COVID-19, up to 2020, it is still the number one killer in Malaysia also. I'm not sure about this year because we don't have the data yet, but I suspect cardiovascular disease won't be much less. Even though we are now having less people dying from heart attack because of badminton or hiking because of our MCO, but we are seeing more and more COVID-19 patients developing cardiovascular disease. Currently, in my hospital, there are a few cases of cardiovascular disease, most likely due to COVID-19. I have 60-year-old patients presented with stroke 2 weeks after the COVID-19. After that, he presented again with heart attack. And we found that there's a lot of blood clot inside his blood vessels, the blood vessels to the brain and the blood vessels to the heart. We also have another 30-year-old man presenting with heart attack about 3 weeks after discharge from COVID-19. And the examples goes on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lai. Let's go to our next question. Dr. Lai, what is the risk factors of cardiovascular diseases?
Okay, the risk factors of cardiovascular disease, from the research, there's a lot of risk factors and associating factors. To name it, there's more than 1,000 factors. But the major one, there's a 4 major one. One is the rise in blood pressure. Another one is the rise in cholesterol level. Another one is the rise in sugar level, which we call diabetes. And another one is smoking. Of course, now we have another one, which is COVID-19. The other risk factors are one, obesity, which is increased weight, stress factor, either stress in work or stress in family or stress with girlfriend or boyfriend. And there's another risk which is involving genetic, which means if your family members, some of them have heart disease, you will be more likely to develop cardiovascular disease or heart attack in the future. Another one will be lack of exercise. If there's less exercise, then the risk will be higher. And well, the few major risk factors will be all this.
Thank you, doctor. Now I should stop drinking my bubble tea. And right now we are going for a half-time break after we return. Dr. Lai will continue to share about how can we avoid cardiovascular disease and improve our heart healthiness. See you all in a bit and enjoy our video. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death on this planet.
The best way to beat it
is to use heart.
Usa cuore.
Mit Herz.
To make better choices.
Usa corazón.
To prevent, diagnose, and treat early.
To improve quality of life.
To leave no heart disease neglected.
Pakai hati.
Folosește inima.
Пользуйтесь сердцем.
To reduce air pollution.
To increase tobacco taxes.
To improve access to heart care and medicines for everyone, everywhere.
Akoma.
تعمل القلب.
To chase your dreams.
To live your best life.
To dance until dawn.
Rudejka ubijówka.
Utilisez cœur.
To always be there.
This World Heart Day, use heart.
For society, your loved ones, and you.
Welcome back, everyone. Right now, let's jump to our third question. Dr. Lai, after you had shared with us all the risk factors that causing cardiovascular diseases, could you share with us how to avoid cardiovascular disease and improve our heart healthiness?
Okay, to avoid cardiovascular disease, the best thing is to prevent from getting all the factors that will cause cardiovascular disease. The most important thing is to lead a healthy lifestyle, which means eat healthily, regular exercise, avoid excessive stress, and um, have a regular checkup to prevent cardiovascular disease. One of them is if we eat healthily from young age, we can prevent we can prevent diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol. So we have to avoid most of the fast food. We have to take more green leafy vegetables in our diet, and we have to avoid using too much oil in our food, and also to prevent air pollutions and also pollution from smoking. Not only we ourselves have to avoid smoking, we have to make sure our loved ones, our family, our friends stop smoking in front of us. And the four major risk factors: smoking, we can stop by that. Diabetes, we can do a regular checkup in terms of blood tests to check whether we have diabetes and whether we have any early signs of getting diabetes. Because before we get diabetes, usually our sugar will be in the abnormal range. And another things that we can do is by blood test, doing the HbA1c. Before diabetes, our HbA1c will rise to a abnormal level. And another thing is to check our blood pressure regularly. Currently, the blood pressure is not the according to age. It's actually the cutoff point is above is 130. Actually, in America, anybody 130 is considered as hypertension already. And another one is cholesterol. The cholesterol is actually depends on whether we have any other illness. If a person who are healthy, we can accept a higher level of cholesterol. But if for those who already got cardiovascular disease, who got diabetes already, our target for the cholesterol will be much, much lower. For example, for a normal healthy people, the bad cholesterol, which we call the LDL level, we can accept anything below 2.6 millimole per liter, which is 2.6. But for those who got diabetes and cardiovascular disease, according to our latest diabetic guideline, Malaysian and also worldwide, the LDL cholesterol, the cutoff point will be from 2.6 lowered down to 1.4, which is very, very low level. And another one will be if one thing that we can't avoid is the genetic, but if you have family members who got cardiovascular disease, the best way is to lead a healthy lifestyle from young, and also to have a regular check to make sure you don't have the diseases. As for the stress, what we can do is we can listen to light music. We can have like yoga or Tai Chi to reduce the stress level. Anything that I miss?
Mostly everything I needed because my family have diabetes gene.
And yes, doctor, I also think so that I should reduce my fast food intakes, as I'm a fast food lover and I didn't realize till now that sweetness is not always good.
Yeah. Actually, the fast food is bad for us, not because of the oil, the one that they use for fried, but also because the drinks that comes with the fast food, which means the Coca-Cola or the Pepsi, etc. They contain a lot of sugar. The sugar content actually will make people earlier to get diabetes or higher risk to get diabetes.
I'll tell this to my parents too, doctor.
Doctor, can you recommend us how much Coke can I drink in a month, according in a month?
Yeah, as I'm a
Okay.
Coke lover too, doctor.
Yeah.
It actually depends on each people, because if you have very minimal risk of diabetes and your family don't have diabetes and cardiovascular disease, you probably can drink a little bit more, especially if your body weight is not high, because we know that Coke and Coke also contains a high calorie, not only the sugar, but also calorie. If your family have a lot of people got diabetes or cardiovascular disease, then probably you have to cut down. um, then another things is, if you want, you can take the zero coke, which means
Oh,
they don't have sugar and they don't have calorie.
okay. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lai, for sharing with us the knowledge. I believe that most of you have questions regarding to cardiovascular disease to ask Dr. Lai, right? So, without further ado, let's jump into our Q&A as well as Lucky Draw session. So, if you guys have any questions for our session of today, just feel free to sound them off in the comment section now.
Let's see our first question from Kroku Hero. How can we know that we get a cardiovascular disease? Is there any symptom, doctor?
Okay. It's a difficult to answer, because from the research done in United States, half of those who develop heart attack doesn't have any signs or symptoms before they have heart attack. Another half might have some milder symptoms such as chest discomfort or chest tightness. Usually, the chest discomfort or chest tightness is associated with exertion. That means you might feel comfortable when you are resting, but if you walk like 3 levels of stairs or you jog for 1 hour, then you might have the chest discomfort. But that doesn't mean if you don't have cardiovascular disease, because many of them, it's called a silent killer. And some other symptoms before having a chest discomfort, other than chest discomfort, will be some pain which might goes to the jaw, lower jaw, the pains that might go to the neck, and the pains that might go to the shoulder, or the pains that might go to the back. And some old people or those who got diabetes, they might not have any chest pain at all. They just came with breathless. Like usually they can walk for 1 kilometer, but when they develop some this one, they probably can walk for 100 meters, then they become breathless. And some will have cold sweating, and some will have some giddiness, or some will have nausea or feel like want to vomit. But if you don't have these symptoms, doesn't mean you don't have cardiovascular disease. The best way is to go for the regular checkup and make sure you don't have the risk factors for cardiovascular disease, which means you have to check your blood pressure, make sure you don't have hypertension, you don't smoke or you quit smoking, you go for regular blood tests to check for your sugar level and also cholesterol level, and also lead a healthy lifestyle and avoid excessive stress. Make sure you have time for your to enjoy your life.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Okay, doctor, how often must we go for health checkups?
There is no strict answer. It depends on how bad your risk is, and depends on what is your age, and it depends on how many family members who got cardiovascular disease. If your family members, there are somebody or quite a number of your family members, develop cardiovascular disease when they are 40, say they are 50 years old, then probably you have to go for thorough checkup when you reach 40 years old. It means you have to go for thorough checkup 10 years before your family members got the cardiovascular disease. If your family members are very healthy and you are very young, 20 years old, 18 years old, then probably you don't have to go for checkup. In Malaysia, I can't remember the guidelines. If I remember quite correctly, I think it's the 30 years old, you have to go for regular checking already.
Okay, doctor.
Means you have to check your blood pressure, check your sugar level, check your cholesterol level.
Okay,
but
doctor.
once, sure.
Let's see our second question from StreamYard. Is heart disease curable? How would you advise someone with heart disease? It's from Chan Sin Ho.
Okay. Heart disease is not curable. It depends on what type of heart disease, actually. We have some heart disease which related to something like wire problem, like what we call the supraventricular tachycardia. Those things are most likely curable because once you go and do ablations and you are cured from it. But most of the heart disease is not curable, especially those involve your cardiovascular disease, means if it involve the heart attack or blockage of the blood vessels to the heart, it won't be curable. We can only prevent another attack, or you use medicine and some other methods to treat it, but it won't be cured. You have to live with it. Meaning that if a person come with heart attack, we go in and we see where is the blockage. We suck out the blood clot, or we put a spring stent inside, open the blood vessels. But whatever damage the heart will be there, and that person, even though we already cleared the blockage, the risk of having the second heart attack will be very high compared to normal people. So he has to check out all the risk factors, whether they got diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, etc., etc. And he has to treat all the risk factors, take pills, etc. And he has to lead a healthy lifestyle after that.
Doctor, now I'm so nervous and my heart pumps so fast. Is that can call as a cardiovascular disease?
No, that is not, because when you jog for 10 kilometers, your heart will pump faster than this.
Oh, okay. Thank you, doctor. So, SEGians and our beloved participants, did you all jot down all the information shared by our doctor just now? I believe that you all will start take care of our heart from now. So, let's do our third question from Lee Xingyi. How much exercise each week is recommended to help prevent a heart disease?
Okay. The exercise that we recommend is what we call the aerobic type of exercise, which means use oxygen. The best way is by walking, brisk walking or jogging. Another way is by cycling, or another way is by swimming. You not only can walk outside, you can have a treadmill and walk inside your house. Likewise, the cycling also, you can have your static bicycle, or you can have a desktop cycling and have your what you call desk cycle when you do your office work. And the best way is at least 30 minutes per day and at least 5 times a week. Of course, another way to see how much exercise you have is if you have a smartphone, you can download some apps which can count how many steps you walk in a day, and preferably it has to be 10,000 steps per day. And in many years ago, one of the World Heart Day, the theme is to have a 10,000 steps per day.
Okay,
Does
doctor.
that? Yeah.
So let's go to our following question from StreamYard. How common is heart disease among women? It's a question from June Skyong.
Okay. Heart disease among women, it depends on the age group. Before, also depends on where you are. Before that, most people think that heart disease only involve men. And actually, when I was a medical student back in 1990, early 1990s, my heart professor told me, anybody with chest pain below 50 years old, don't worry, it's not heart attack. But now we have seen people with 20 years old, 30 years old coming with heart attack. Before that, women seldom got heart attack, but now it becomes more because two things. One, there are more ladies who become a smoker, especially in the developed country. But in Malaysia, we have seen many ladies who smokes also. And the things that will break, um, it makes women more susceptible to heart disease is because of diabetes. Before menopause, the ladies' hormone, which is the progesterone, the lady have their own special hormone, and those hormone which makes the lady become reproductive, can have a can pregnant, also prevent them from having heart disease. But the prevention by these hormones will be break by the smoking and also by diabetes. So once, because Malaysia, we have more and more people who have diabetes, especially nowadays, it becomes almost like 20% of adult Malaysian already develop diabetes. And many pregnant ladies actually develop diabetes when they are pregnant. And that makes the incidence of cardiovascular disease in women become higher.
Thank you, doctor.
I'm sorry because I can't have the percentage in Malaysia offhand, but before 50 years old, the ladies who are having cardiovascular disease is less, but after the menopause, the risk of developing cardiovascular disease actually quickly catch up compared to the men.
Thank you,
Okay,
doctor.
That answer the questions. Yeah.
Okay, doctor, I had a question. Is there any possibilities for kids to get diabetes too? Or heart
Yes.
disease?
Okay. When I was the youngest diabetes that I met is actually diabetes since 7 years old.
Oh.
Because diabetes, there's actually two types. One is type 1 diabetic, and the other one is type 2 diabetic. Type 1 diabetic sometimes is because some people are born with inadequate insulin. Their body can't produce insulin by genetic or something else. That is called type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is because the body can produce insulin, but with diet and obesity and lack of exercise, etc., lifestyle, mainly lifestyle, the insulin becomes not effective. So most people in Malaysia get type 2 diabetes, but there are some who are type 1 diabetes. Those who, once we know their diabetes, they need to be on insulin. And we have even younger people who got diabetes, but the girl that I know is I think is, if you remember correctly, um, around 7 years old, got diabetes, and by the time she becomes 11 or 12 years old, she developed the first heart attack. And when I saw her, she already got the third time heart attack, and she doesn't survive.
So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
doctor.
thank you so much for your great information, doctor. They are really useful. And guess what? Next is our most awaited Lucky Draw session. Before that, let me share with you the next event from SEGi Group of Colleges. There will be a live talk session with Mr. Kevin Pillay, trainer from Shopping University, happening tomorrow 8 p.m. Remember to join the session tomorrow as Mr. Kevin will share with you how to start your e-commerce business with Shopee. Don't miss it.
Ta-da! From now, we'll be giving our lucky draw one Realme Watch 2 to our registered audience.
Yes. Be sure to comment I am the winner in the comment section when your name is being called to prove that you are in here now and claim your prize. Once the 1 minute time is up and the winner fails to validate him or herself, we will pick for another winner during our stream. So don't miss it, guys. Now, let's find out who our lucky draw winner is. Admin, could you pull up the lucky draw wheel? Remember to type I am the winner in the comment section to let us know that you are here and claim your prize. And our winner is Jackson. Congratulations.
Congratulations! Remember to tap I'm the winner in the comment sections to claim your lucky draw prize. And now you have 1 minute start now while we wait. Let's continue our Q&A sections.
Yes. Congratulations to the winner.
The questions from Chris Chom. If my parent have heart disease problem, is the risk of inherit high, and what should I be caution of it?
Shall we wait for the lucky winner, or
You can answer for this audience also, doctor.
Okay. If both your parents have cardiovascular disease, and especially if both of them got heart disease, which means blockage of the blood vessels, that means your risk of having a cardiovascular disease will be much higher. What you can do is you can see at what age they develop the cardiovascular disease. So before, like if they have a cardiovascular disease at 50 years old, then by the time 40 years old, you need to have a thorough checkup. It includes all the blood tests and probably an exercise stress test to make sure there's no significant blockage in your heart. And at the same time, you probably have to change to a healthy lifestyle and make sure you don't take too much of a high cholesterol diet. You have to avoid excessive sugar in your diet and make sure you have a regular exercise and avoid smoking, even avoid secondhand smoking. And also have to make sure you don't have
Doctor, your sound is not clearly.
uh, you don't have obesity. Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. And congratulations to the winner, Jackson. And for the ones who didn't get the prize, don't worry, guys. We really appreciate your participation tonight.
Thank you once again for our Dr. Lai Yee Cheak for sharing with us a lot of information today.
Yes.
And now I know all of us has learned a lot from you today, Doctor. And thank you to all our audience. You have been great throughout the section tonight. Before we end, just to remind all of you to join the live talk season tomorrow with Mr. Kevin from Shopee to learn how to start your first e-commerce business with Shopee. Thank you.
Yes, don't forget it, guys. It's really useful information for you guys are waiting there. Until we see you again in another beneficial and interesting life talk like this, stay home and stay safe, everyone. Have a wonderful evening from all of us in SEGi College Penang. And see you. Bye bye.
So once again, thank you, Dr. Lai, with us
Thank you,
today,
Dr.
and thanks
Lai.
for
Thank
our
you.
audience. Thank you so
And
much,
to take
Doctor.
precaution against COVID, which is
Okay.
another cause of cardiovascular disease.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, so
Yes,
much for
Doctor.
our
We
live
learned.
talk today.
Yes,
Love you so
Doctor.
much, Doctor. Thank you.
We learned a lot from you today, Doctor. Thank you so much for your valuable time.
Okay, thanks for all audience. Welcome to our live talk today. I hope you all stay safe and stay cool today. So, see you guys all. Thank you.
Okay, see you
And
guys.
bye.
Bye-bye.
We are here to actually provide all the support to develop students to become a confident graduate that is needed by the industry. Please feel welcome to visit us to see how we do our transformation of students.